Do you have to know German before you come here? Not necessarily. Is it helpful? Very much so. Um, and the reason I say this is because I remember, and I was talking about this just this morning actually. Um, I remember being here, not speaking any German, having to run to a neighbor across the hall where I stayed, to fix my doctor's appointments, to talk to somebody on the phone because I had no idea what to tell these people, But I realized when I was able to engage with the language, to, converse in it, to talk in it, even have job interviews in the language, my prospects changed and my perspectives changed as well. It just enhanced my quality of life, both professionally and then personally. So no, you don't necessarily have to know German before you come here. It would be great if you did, though, because then you can just continue to build on your knowledge and your perspective of the language. And I'd be interested to hear what Stephen's perspective is as well on this.
You are 100% right on that, Kofi, that it is not a must, but it definitely enhances the quality of life and the efficiency and effectiveness of your stay. For me, I look at it from the long-term perspective. Let's say you are a person who is already in a job somewhere, and the corporation where you are is sending you to study for 1.5 years, for 2 years. They want you back, and you're expecting that by the time you return, you find your job ready and with a promotion. So in this case, the requirement for you to continue or to learn the language will be very minimal, maybe functional, just to be able to greet and say hello and then be able to use the services around. But for someone who's looking at long-term stay back options and opportunities to get into a career, be it a part-time job, making relationships and so on, language becomes very important. The good news is that PFH programs, the one that we're talking about, they are fully taught in English. So there you don't need to would go for a intensive German course in order to pass your degree. You will be able to follow the classes from day one. But when it comes to the after school integration and meeting and networking, language becomes very helpful. And I guess this is something that I would encourage you all to think about. Take some basic classes, even though you know that your courses are going to be fully taught in English. You're looking for a part-time job, or you're going for a meet out, you want to get to know people, you want to connect with the community, language becomes very important.
Absolutely. And just quickly to add, Paul, is that at the PFH, we actually teach or we offer German language lessons to our students. Part of the requirements that we have for our students for what we describe as our job guarantee, which is also something that I'd be happy to talk about at the meeting in Barrera or also in Kampala, is that we want our students to learn the language because we believe this makes you competitive on the German labor market or in the labor market in general. If you speak more than one language these days, it's helpful. It helps you. It helps you to be able to move up ahead, right? So this is something that we do at the PFH. We offer the language lessons from A1 up to B1 for our students. And we expect, that they take advantage of these programs to be able to study the language and graduate with at least a B1 to go onto the labor market when they are done. So what happens is when you apply to us, it takes up to 14 days for us to round your application. What this means is we will process your application. It means we will check your documents to see if you're eligible, and then we will offer you what we call, the initial application. I'm sorry, the initial admission or the proof of admission. Now, once we offer this to you, this is when you will be able to present this as initial proof to the embassy that actually you have been offered a place to study with us. But if you need the documents of enrollment, so for example, you need a letter from us stating that you have been enrolled and this is when the semester will begin, then you will need to pay what we call the admission and enrollment fee, which is €1,000, part of the overall cost, which I previously mentioned. And then we can issue you all the paperwork for you to be able to apply for a visa. But in my experience, the embassies are not going to ask you, for any paperwork until you get to the point where you have been enrolled. But you will have, a letter stating that you have been offered admission, welcome to the PFH. But when it gets to the form where you need to apply for visa, this is where you would need to first pay the administration or admission and enrollment fee, and then we issue you the paperwork with which you can go and apply for a visa. Graduation, depending on where you are studying. So if you are studying at the Göttingen campus, it is at the old theater at the Göttingen campus. It's very fancy. The students get decked out, in their Christmas best, their national costumes or their national clothes where they come from. There is, the convocation from the graduation speaker. There is the piano which is played. There's the graduation lunch that we sit down with the students for. So this is what graduation is. Graduation is not really a thing in Germany as it is in, the more Anglophone speaking countries like the US and then the UK, Canada, and Australia. But with the private universities like ours, we have our own graduation ceremonies that we have because, of course, we know that part of the experience is leaving the campus and, wearing the gown and taking the picture and then also walking across the stage to get your degree or your diploma. So this is something that in the private universities, we are very happy to say that we do as well. I think the first time Stephen asked me this and I answered, he was really excited. I saw his eyes just almost popping out because we have enrollment, on a non-deadline basis. So we operate on a rolling deadline basis. Students can send us applications at any point throughout the year. And yes, I know it sounds too good to be true, but it is true. So you can actually apply at any point during the year, but our intakes are the 1st of April and the 1st of October. So depending on when you apply to us, we will either, advise that you come to us in April or you come to us in October, but we don't have fixed deadlines. Students can apply at any point during the year to be able to come to us, please back me up here if I miss anything. So if you're applying for a visa from a university, what you need to do first is to have, your letter of enrollment stating that you actually have a place in this intake and also that this is when your classes are starting. So you need that letter of enrollment. Of course, you need a blocked account or proof of your blocked account. The process varies in each country that you go to. So initially, it used to be Deutsche Bank. I'm not sure if this is the case anymore, but different organizations and different countries assist with this process. But of course, we're happy to give you the overview for this. Another thing that you also need is the standard paperwork. So you need your passport, you need the filled out application forms, you need your documentation from your university and then also from your secondary school. And it was very nice to know that, Uganda has moved on from physically submitting these documents to actually submitting them online and then coming up, if you have been accepted or not. This is a similar situation in Ghana. We're hoping it improves the waiting time as it goes ahead. So these are some of the standard documents that you need if you are applying to study, in Germany when you have received admission from a university. Yes, Stephen, perhaps you have something to add.
I think you mentioned the nitty-gritties involved, the paperwork, but just to sum up the step-by-step process, it will be the next thing that you do after this call is maybe to go and meet a person on ground. The number has been already posted there.
Yeah.
So first we need to look at your documents.
Yeah.
Documents are clean, they're clear, everything is straightforward, and then the university will be notified. As Kofi has already mentioned, the process is 14 working days. Sometimes it can be even much faster. Once they give you a go-ahead, the quotes that you're asking for, then the next step will be you get a conditional offer. And once you make the deposit of the tuition, get a final offer, and then straight away we move on to preparing for the visa application and all the paperwork like the blocked account. We do have a number of options now these days, like several banks where we can do that. It takes like about 5 days maximum to open and then to fund the account, get you an insurance that you need to be able to apply for your visa. And then the next thing will be, if you get an appointment, is to apply and go for attend your visa interview. So the semester starts in October. If you miss that start of October, then it will be in April next year. So there's still opportunities, but Paul, I think Paul Kofi mentioned that there is a chance for you, even if your visa is delayed, you can complete the first semester online, which is quite unique. That not so many public universities, I don't even know any which provide that kind of option. So we had the same with William. He was away for 1 year, for one semester, but even while he was home, he didn't miss anything. So when he joined the university, he just continued from where he started. My closing remark is this. Germany has close to 400 universities, but there are not so many universities I know where a student has his own image emboldened in the university hallways forever. I've never seen this, and I know probably in Uganda, I don't even know, Paul, do you know this in Makerere University that they have their former students hanged all over the place? So this is the thing. At PFH, they will keep your face forever. I was there and I witnessed the people that started the university, and they just keep growing and expanding. So that for sure would be the best closing remark. You want to be remembered? Go to
You
PFH.
know, the study abroad experience is something that we would always want any student to actively experience. This is something that I have experienced, something Stephen has experienced, something that you are working to facilitate students experience for Paul. And, maybe I'm biased, but I really feel as if the PFH really gives you one of the best experiences that you can have as an international student in Germany. I studied at a public university, and I know my experience at a public university is vastly different than what students experience at a private university. And it's even more special for me because just this semester I joined the teaching faculty at the university as well. So it's very interesting for me to be able to experience the students that I have spoken to who have come to the university as a direct, result of our efforts. And I find them sitting in the classes that I teach as well. So that's very exciting. And we are really here to support, to facilitate an edu experience. And we're definitely looking forward to seeing some of you on our campus as well. So, looking forward to seeing you in Uganda in a couple of months. Please come in your numbers. I'm happy to answer all your questions and also to look forward to see you in the coming intakes after that